I'm Stuart McIntosh with the BBC News. Hello. The Governor of New York has said her state will always stand up for freedom of thought following the attack on Salman Rushdie. Kathy Hochul was speaking at the Chautauqua Institution, where the author was stabbed on Friday as he prepared to address a literary event.
And I want everyone to know that as the investigation unfolds and there's much being found, you'll know the story. And those who are motivated to violence because of calls from foreign leaders, even domestic leaders, calls for violence cannot be tolerated. And so we're going to continue. And I want it out there that a man with a knife cannot silence a man with a pen.
Mr. Rushdie has been a target for Muslim extremists since publishing the Satanic Verses more than 30 years ago. Dozens of people have died at a church in the Egyptian city of Giza after a fire broke out, causing a crush. The authorities say at least 41 people were killed and blamed the fire on an electrical fault. Sally Nabil has been talking to survivors.
Many of the victims suffocated as thick smoke covered the area. This woman lost her sister-in-law.
She had 5 children, 3 daughters who are 3, 5 and 7 years old, and 2 boys. My heart is on fire for all these victims.
The people I've spoken to here are clearly very angry. They want to know exactly how and why their loved ones died. There will be questions too for the church itself and for the emergency services. Could they have acted more quickly?
There are reports from Mali that 49 Ivorian soldiers who've been in detention for over a month have now been charged with attempting to harm state security and have been remanded in custody. The military government has accused them of being mercenaries. 5 days after Kenya's election, it's still uncertain who the next president will be. The slow count is making Kenyans increasingly tense. With half the results confirmed, the Deputy President, William Ruto, has established a 3-point lead over his rival, Raila Odinga. But Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary-General of the ODM, a party supporting Mr. Odinga, insisted its candidate had won.
We want to assure you that as a county, we are going to have a peaceful post-election period, and that there is not going to be any fracas anywhere. But we want the IEBC to expedite the process. We are confident that we have won because we have our tallies. We have already put out these tallies. The tally has not changed. The president, the 5th president of the republic, is Raila Odinga. So we just be patient.
This is the World News from the BBC. The Ecuadorian authorities say at least 5 people have been killed in an explosion in the southwestern city of Guayaquil. The blast left 16 injured and destroyed 4 buildings. It's been linked to organised crime. Ministers said it was a declaration of war against the state and called on the country to unite. Syrian state media say Israel has carried out an air attack on targets in the coastal province of Tartus. They said 3 soldiers had been killed. According to the Sana news agency, Syrian air defences had confronted hostile targets in the skies over the port of Tartus, and explosions were heard in the area. An outbreak of coronavirus in the Marshall Islands appears to have infected 10% of the capital's population in less than a week. 2,000 people have tested positive, according to the Health Ministry, after the Pacific Island country's first ever local cases were reported last Monday. There have been 2 deaths. Health services have suffered as the virus infected doctors and nurses. Cats in the German town of Waldorf are to be allowed out of their homes for the first time in 3 months. The town plays host to a species of bird, the small crested lark, which is considered to be in danger of extinction, and cats have been blamed for killing them. From Berlin, our correspondent Jenny Hill reports.
The cats of Waldorf have lived in lockdown, banned from the outdoor world and allowed out only on a leash measuring no more than 2 metres. Strict rules were issued to cat owners. In the event of an escape, they must call a special hotline, then search for and detain the offending feline. A breach of lockdown would result in a fine, and any owner whose animal injured or killed one of the protected birds would have to pay up to €50,000. The lockdown is expected to return next spring.
And that is the BBC News.